Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. I'm a single mother, educated, currently looking for work, so I don't have much. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm the oldest of two daughters to a narcissist CFO to a 600 partner law firm. My father is her pit bull, moody as fuck, raging, overtly abusive, boozing and pill popping town charmer. My younger sister is 31, is a 31-year-old with an umbilical cord that can do no wrong, but she does plenty wrong. I would like to out my ex who still abuses me by using our daughter and my family, but it gets better. After the most traumatic experiences of my life and learning that the abuse was always there to begin with, I just didn't see it until they turned my life upside down. A gang of narcs and I became scared for my life. They took my daughter out of school to hide her from me. I have been without my family and support system for what will be coming up on 2 years. My family and my ex traumatized me, and I know it's caused a lot of trauma to my daughter. She's terrified of being alone. It's me, daughter of narcissistic mother, bipolar alcoholic father, and narcopath ex. I need to get my story into context so I can shine a bright light where it belongs. Sorry if I wasn't clear. My mother is the CFO of a 600 partner law firm. So you can probably imagine why I might be hesitant to tell my story in detail in all of the darkness that is. It takes a lot out of me emotionally to bring it all together, expand on, and express it in context. After I was finally destroyed and discarded by my daughter's father last year, February 2015, we never married, but still carried on as a family, whether together or not. He reeled me back in several times, but I always ended up a little more traumatized each time. The sociopath The sociopath did propose to me in front of my entire family when I was 2 months pregnant. This was at a time when he knew I wasn't sure I was ready to become a mother, let alone marry him. He got me pregnant on purpose to secure himself a place amongst my family's seemingly comfortable life. It took me a long time to see this, but the proof had been right in front of me for a long time. I even had an Excel spreadsheet from the time where I was tracking my menstrual and ovulation cycle, to which I shared with my ex in an effort not to get pregnant. He decided he wasn't going to pull out during my ovulating that month. This was after a year and a half of practice, so it was not a mistake. His own family is highly destructive and toxic, with his own father having been incarcerated most of his teen and young adult life. That's just showing the tip of the iceberg of this abuse, how this abuser was raised. The last and final time, he took everything from me and left me homeless, traumatized, without my own family. He forcefully took our daughter and hid her from me for 2 weeks with the help of my CFO mother and his own psychotic mother. Seriously, I could write a novel about my experiences with each of these toxic monsters and what continues to be my reality today. The sociopathic ex who does not feel guilt, remorse, or empathy moved on very quickly after I was discarded and ostracized by my FOO for leaving this abusive man. He quickly interrogated this woman in both my daughter's life and my family's life, this new target of his associate HR attorney at the same law firm where my mom is the executive CFO. My mother is literally paying the new girlfriend. Since the discard, my family has been spending holidays with my ex and his new girlfriend. 4th of July 2016 is the most recent holiday documented. Ex-sociopath and his girlfriend spent the holiday at my family home with my daughter. Not one of my ex's family or his girlfriend's present, nor I. I've identified his abuser patterns over the last decade. I have asked him to stop many times, but he refused, continues to sabotage what I value most, my daughter and my family. So I'm left alone without family and support system of any kind. Have been so isolated throughout my life that I don't even know where to begin creating a new family and support system. I have a hard time with trust, but once my entire story is told to the world, I can heal and move on. even if my narcissistic mother testified against me and our relationship is shit and no longer exists. The sociopathic S is still threatening my family and support system on a daily basis, using my daughter and my family to do it. I have so many stories to write and the proof to back it up. My narcissistic mother is some kind of sexual abuser as well. She isolated, abandoned, and sexualized me at a young age. I grew up very quickly, if you know what I mean. My father raged at me and threatened to choke me in front of my daughter, Thanksgiving 2014. 3 months later, and 3 months of escalating abuse at home coming from my daughter's father, I had no choice but to leave my ex's home. The abuse was killing me. I dropped from 120 pounds to 108 pounds in 3 months. I could not sleep, nightmares, and sweats, just to name the few of the physical symptoms I was experiencing at the height of the abuse. I received a good 6 months of weekly trauma and attachment therapy before I lost my job and benefits in May of 2015. This therapy helped me put many pieces of my mind back together and remember who the hell I was, to be able to trust my own experiences, judgment, and intuition again. I still have to work on these things to this day. The abuse is ongoing, however, and harder to heal itself at all possible. My narcissistic mother also has stage 4 breast cancer, just to layer that in. Good. Well, why don't you do everyone a favor, okay? Why don't you do everybody a favor, okay, and grab a shotgun and put it in her mouth and suck on it like it's your fucking father's dick until it goes click. Fucking lawyer piece of shit. So where do I even start? I have an anonymous IG page at NP Abuse where I have been documenting my experiences. How to bring all the moving parts together to share is where I'm stuck. Where do you even start with this fucking madness? Keely. I guess you didn't want to stay anonymous. You can say I'm the scapegoat of my narcissistic white Midwestern family. I suffered all the symptoms of abuse at one point in my life or another, with it being no surprise or coincidence that the worst of it has healed since I got away from them. It was during those times when I was dependent on them and lived with them as a child hostage for all practical purposes that I suffered the symptoms below. All these symptoms could not be identified accurately, analyzed by a therapist my narcissistic mother sent me to as a teenager. Instead of realizing that my home was likely an abusive one, the therapist put me on a high dosage of Prozac and sent me on my way. That therapist basically validated what my abusive parents wanted me to believe about myself, that I was broken, flawed, not good enough, inherently bad. So I went on suffering in my family's abusive home and then went off to college, just self-destructing again, being left with no money, no cell phone, no car, or any real contact from my family. My first semester, an attempt at college, would send me into the worst of my bulimia and desire to end it all, to end my life. I felt so much guilt and shame, but I had no idea why I was suffering like I was. Needless to say, my family's abuse of me has negatively impacted my life in almost every aspect. My childhood was stolen from me. My motherhood was stolen from me. There's nothing they will not take from you. The list of abuse and trauma symptoms is not limited to depression, bulimia, anxiety, fear, anger, guilt, shame, self-blame, suicidal thoughts, even tried to cut myself a few times, denial, feeling sad and hopeless, confusion, difficulty concentrating, withdrawing from others in conversation, feeling out of place, disconnected and numb, racing heartbeat, being startled easily, insomnia and nightmares, fatigue, edginess and agitation, muscle tension, aches and pains. Even though I am no contact and feeling better again, I am still troubled from time to time by the painful memories or emotions, especially in response to triggers that remind me of trauma. They said it themselves. I have no one. Okay, there's truth to that statement. I know what isolation is all about now, and it's no surprise I have been left with few childhood friends. What they refuse to see is they are abusive and cause pain and trauma that I am still working through to this day. Grieving doesn't really happen when abusers are still alive and using your family to carry out continued abuse. The hurt is sick, but I got away and healed a great deal. I don't think I'll be able to fully heal until my story is shared in full context. I also had to file Chapter 7 last year after a sociopathic ex took me to court for full custody of our daughter. I just started my own business in January 2015, 1 month before the discard, incurring $25,000 in debt for startup. I literally had nothing, and the ex knew that. I had perfect credit my entire adult life until this time. You don't know what this is about? This is about your mother's jealousy of you. Your mother's obviously heads the household. Takes a lot of pride in heading up that law firm. But also what she takes is any confidence you have. Why? Because she never wants to see you rise to the level that she does. Because she is a jealous woman. Now, behavior like that is very easy to mask in the legal field, because you have to be a narcissist pretty much to be a lawyer anyway. You know what I would do? Because you have nothing, there's nothing she can take from you. She's dying anyway. If her law firm has a website, I'd start posting your story right to her website. I would expose her and keep exposing her. What are their, I don't know their reasons they're giving you for doing this. I would imagine you're probably terrified of family court, being that she heads a law firm. But there are groups that can help you. I don't know if you have any contact with your daughter. I'm not even sure. It sounds like he has custody of your child. You have no custody rights. I don't know if you've gone to child court, family court to establish rights, or what's going on. I mean, this is all very vague. You need to tell your story of exactly what's happening and not be vague. You need to call it out and put it out there. Your mother's dying right now. This is a very susceptible time for her, because she's going to want to go out with a legacy. This is when you need to step it up. This is when you need to step it up. And if that means that you need to post an opposing obituary when she dies to tell the world exactly who they are, then that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And let her know that's what you're going to do. So when you die, I am going to post an opposing obituary for the world to fucking see. Oh, you can do that. If you're going to pay for it, do it. Do it. And let her know you're going to do it. And when they threaten to sue you, say sue you for what? If they say you'll never see your daughter again, say I'm not seeing her now. There's nothing there. You're already holding her from you. So what can you fucking do at this point? At some point, you have to realize they can't take anything else away from you. They're already hiding your daughter from you. They're not going to be able to hide her more. Your mother gets off on being, the toast of the town. Nah, bitch. No, I'm gonna post an opposing obituary and tell everything you've ever done, and I'm going to name names. And that's where you post your website, anybody who wants to know about it. And then I would bombard her website, if her law firm has. Let them know what kind of person heads it up. If nothing you're saying isn't, if you can prove everything you're saying, you say, okay, you could take me to court and I'll present my evidence, and okay, and you can defend this. Your mother's a lawyer. Your mother's a lawyer. You tell her, I'd love to get discovery from you. I'd love to get you under deposition too. Sworn in, under oath. So if you're going to sue, make it snappy. I also wonder, since she's the head of a law firm, if you could actually sue her for emotional distress, parental interference. I'd call a lawyer. I'd start calling other lawyers. I'd take a different route of this instead of going to child court. I'd call personal injury lawyers, lawyers that handle this, who take cases on contingencies. I'd sue her in her capacity and her law firm. Why not? See what your legal options are. Who knows what you can do? But as far as the other stuff, I would write an opposing obituary and let her know it's coming. If you pay for it, they got to print it. As long as there's no swearing in it, none of that, it's been done before. Deal with that bitch. So, thank you for your contribution. I realize the financial position you're in, so I appreciate anything you can give. Thank you for the story. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a narcissist you'd like to expose or a topic you'd like me to cover, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.